Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever you are. This is a warm welcome to Shine. And you'd be surprised how many people are on our website learning and reading our blog in the middle of the night. So that's why I say middle of the night. So wherever you are, this message is for you. I want to start with a story. I can remember like it was yesterday. I was in the doctor's office and had been prescribed a medication for my mental health problems. And I was struggling a lot in my life. And by the way, I want you to know that this message could literally transform everything and your future to help you achieve and reach your goals when it comes to your mental health. I am not a doctor. I'm just an average guy who got sick and needed to do whatever it took to get healthy. And I want to share that with you. It took me 15 years, $50,000, way too much time, way too much effort. And I want to pass this on to you. Okay, back to the story. And I walk into the room and I say, Doctor, there's something wrong. He had prescribed a medication. And he said, well, what's wrong? I said, well, I'm feeling more suicidal than I ever have before. And by the way, if the topic or the word suicide is triggering for you, I've learned, and I did crisis line work for about a year where I took calls from people who are struggling, is that it's important to talk about it. It's not a taboo word. So I said to him, I said, I'm more suicidal than ever, and wait for it, I'm starting to feel homicidal. Now, for those who don't know what homicidal means, it means you have these urges to hurt other people. I no longer, and I don't feel that. The minute I stopped the medication, and he looked at me and he says, "Oh my goodness, well, that didn't work." And he grabs the medication from my hand and he throws it across the room and puts it into the garbage. And at that moment, I had a realization. I said, is medication that flippant? Is it that random that doctors do this trial and error? And I realized at that moment that I was a guinea pig and I hated the feeling. And I said to myself, starting today, I'm going to take control back to my health and not put it all into the hands of others. Now, doctors are great. They have their place. Medication has their place, but it wasn't working for me. So what did I do? I had to take control. So I have my file with me here. So this is the file of what I did over the last 15 years. And I went on a hunt, instead of going out to parties, and spending money on a nice car, I spent money on these tests. And what are these tests? Well, they're personalized tests to help me understand who I was, what was my chemistry, my makeup, to then better be able to take care of myself. So in here we have I have a saliva test, which can tell my DNA. And with DNA, you can see maybe where you're weak in your DNA and you need to substitute and help with DNA weaknesses, which is normal. You might not know epigenetics, but it's this concept where your genes can actually be turned on and off depending on behavior. So that's even more powerful. I have a urine test, which allowed me to know where I was low in certain neurochemicals, which I was blown away that I couldn't figure it out. Nobody was telling me I can do this, but finally I figured out that I could, and nobody was doing them. These are thousands of dollars, these tests. So then I took actually a test to learn about that used my feces, and I'll never forget. I had to go to the post office, and I had to declare what it was, and yeah, I had to say that it was feces. They accepted it. Anyway, I learned a lot about my microbiome and why I was struggling with digestion, how digestion is linked to mental health. The point is, I did tons and tons of tests, and spent thousands of dollars. And I want to pass this on to you. I want to pass on and summarize everything that I learned. All right, let's jump into story number two. And there are times in your life when you have these breakthroughs and realizations where the old is gone and the new is here, and you cannot, deny it. It's just hit you right in the face. I'll never forget, I was reading a book by Dr. Mark Hyman. And if you haven't read his stuff, it's amazing. And his book on Ultramind Solution, I read it. And it said in there a little thing about inflammation in the brain. And again, listen, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just trying stuff, right? Like when you're sick, you just do what you have to do to get by. And by the way, no matter how you're feeling. I know what it's like to experience this feeling like you have so much potential inside of you, but because of your mental health challenges, your sadness, depression, anxiety, it holds you back from being the real you. And that is probably one of the most frustrating things that I experience. And that if you are feeling this overwhelm, you're like, I've tried everything, nothing's working. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help. So back to story number 2. I read this line that said, if you take a high dose of fish oil, it can help with anxiety. And it said, take 10. Now, on the vessel, on the caps, on the jar, it'll say take 2. And for heart, recently, it's up to 4 to 6. So they're actually really bumping up the dosages. But I started to take 10 and then 12 and then 15. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just saying that my anxiety, it was like it was lifted from me. Now, yes, I felt a bit, but I couldn't believe how much lower my response was to stress, how I was able to handle more stress. My anxiety attacks stopped. So I went to my doctor and I said, Doc, you won't believe it. I took these pills, these supplements, and he's like, yeah, it's all in your head. Well, I later learned, by the way, that doctors spend about 1 week in med school, 4-year med school, or can go on forever, but long med school, 1 week on nutrition. So he says, it's all in your head. It's placebo effect, which means I'm making it up. So, okay, I come home, I stop taking them. My anxiety comes back. So out of desperation, I go back on them. Well, literally tried this 3 or 4 times. And finally I said, I don't know what it is, why I need to be on these fish oil. Later, I learned that there's this balance between omega-6 and 3 oils in your brain, and processed oils are omega-6. So if you have a high ratio of 6 and low 3, that can really cause issues around your mental health. I think that's one of the things that was happening for me, and the other was inflammation. And again, it might be happening to you. So why do I share this? I realized at that moment that natural ingredients could completely transform my health, and it was something I can get right away. The other ingredient was an herb. It was a plant from India called Bacopa, Bacopa. And by the way, when you're stressed and your mental health issue, you're struggling with mental health, you have high stress. When you have high stress, that part of the brain at the front that is designed to help you remember things, speak coherently, perform duties, it goes out the window because your fight or flight response, you're either, fearful, withdrawn, angry, which was my life. And if you're experiencing those, I can totally relate to them. I took this Bacopa and 500 milligrams. And by the way, I always take questions, whether I don't care what questions you have about supplements for mental health. I am there for you. You can send us a message, and I'm the one who's going to respond. I have a medical advisory board, by the way, a medical doctor, a naturopathic doctor, holistic nutritionist on my board. So I always consult with them first when I get questions. Anyway, but I'm here to help. So I take this Bacopa, and it was like a laser, like light turned on in my brain, where suddenly I was able to focus on a task. I was able to remember things. I was better able to handle stress. And we'll talk about that in our teaching lessons soon. So this lesson here that I learned was natural ingredients had a powerful impact on my health. And as I started to read testimonials, I could see how these natural ingredients were helping other people as well. All right, let's talk about teaching lesson number 1. Shine is an education company because we know that through education, you can then convince yourself of the value of the information and then look into it to yourself and then make your own informed decision. And so the first teaching lesson I want to talk to you about, it's a pyramid, and I'm going to draw it for you here while we're live in front of us here. So when it comes to choosing ingredients to help with your mental health, there are a lot out there. And a member on my science board says to me, she used to work at a natural food store, and she would say the first question that she would always get is, where do I start? So there is definitely a degree of overwhelm when it comes to natural supplements. Mental health, we know up to now, has that 2 major paths. One is counseling and the other is medication. And I highly encourage all, but sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes it's not working. And sometimes you want to take more control of your mental health, which is where I was at. And if you're relating to that, I'm here to help. Okay, let's draw this pyramid. So I'm going to draw a pyramid, and we have our four sections. So the first type of ingredient that is really helpful for mental health, and again, I'm not a doctor, but what I've learned in my own self-study and for my own body, these are the things that I just had to know, the basics, the foundation. So the first are vitamins and minerals. And you might say, well, what is the connection? Of course, we all need vitamins, minerals, but specifically, there's vitamins like vitamin D. By the way, most vitamin D is made from animal sources. I always believe in going to a vegan source because it's better for the environment. Um, and yeah, it's just my own choice. You can go either way, but a lot of people don't know that vitamin D is often from animals. Actually, sheep intestines, oddly enough. So the point is, vitamin D3 is great. We also have our B vitamins, vitamin B12. You've probably heard this. So I just wanted you to highlight the importance of this. Magnesium has been really well shown to support calmness, better sleep, because sleep is directly linked to mental health. Poor sleep results in mental health. So think of vitamins and minerals like that foundation. You need to start there. The next I have here is what I like to call is healthy fats. Healthy fats. So the brain, oh my goodness, my writing, but there you go. You see my writing. By the way, I'm at home here and you can see my daughter's birthday is happening soon. So, you can't hide. This is life, but you're seeing the real shine here. Healthy fats, I talked earlier about, in the story around fish oils, that is an example of a healthy fat. Our brain is mostly fat and our brain responds really well to healthy fats. That's why you hear a lot about the importance of eating healthy fats, like, nuts and seeds and avocado, right? So healthy fats are really an important element in this case, we're talking about supplementation. Of course, foods are a powerful source. I firmly believe that foods are a powerful source as well. The doctor's credo is let food be thy medicine. I don't know if that's true anymore or applied, but we know it's powerful. Food is powerful. What's the next? They're called adaptogens. You've heard of this probably. And adaptogens have the word adapt in it because it helps you adapt to stress. So let's make it really simple. You're at work, somebody steals your idea, you get angry, and for the rest of the day, your brain shuts down and you're angry for 3 days and it's hard to regulate. Natural ingredient in this case can help lower your stress response. Therefore, you're less thinking that an animal is attacking you. So you're less in fight mode or flight. You might run away or freeze, that we can all respond a certain different way. And so if you're better able to handle stress, you're better able to adapt to stress, you're more resilient, what I call resilience, mental strength. So it all comes into play here. So what have we talked about so far? We've talked about vitamins and minerals. We've talked about healthy fats and adaptogens. And the last, so I'll share this a little story. Our formulator, is where we manufacture our products, and he's an awesome guy. And he says, Andreas is his name, and he says to me, he says, Phil, our brains are stuck in prehistoric age and time. We need to upgrade our brains. And one of the ways to upgrade our brains is through what we call nootropics. Now, sounds fancy, but nootropics are, the way I think about it is, if we were, farming our land and hunting for food and life was simpler, we didn't have all the environmental toxins and all the poor food quality and all the stress and all the uncertainty and all the environmental impacts and everything we know about the world uncertainty, economic impacts, we would not need nootropics necessarily. But nootropics are here to help us increase peak brain performance, so memory, focus, concentration. And I find when all of those are there, you're more calm, you're more confident in yourself, right? Imagine that if your memory is stronger or you're better able to articulate an idea, then you're better in a position to feel more confidence because you're able to articulate an idea. So that is lesson number one. So whenever you're looking for a supplement, consider looking for those four. There are some others like probiotics, prebiotics for microbiome. Those are very good too, but I wanted to summarize them here. So again, vitamins, minerals, healthy fats, adaptogens, and nootropics. All right, lesson number two. Again, at Shine, we educate. because we believe that through education, you're better able to make informed decisions, which builds confidence. And so it starts with new information to adapt to a new reality if you're struggling with your mental health. And again, a struggle could mean a poor focus, really struggling with anxiety. It could be low moods, could be suicidal thoughts. It is quite broad in range. And again, I'm not a doctor, but what I am is an average person who figured out a way to balance my chemistry naturally. And I'm pro doctor, pro medication, pro counselor, but I'm also pro looking at whatever works. My philosophy is whatever works, give it to me, right? And I also like things that don't have a lot of side effects, which is lovely about nature. Okay, so I'm going to draw again another pyramid for you. So what I've discovered, this is more of on the side of defining how to help you have and build that mental strength, that mental resilience, because I talked about the supplements or the ingredients, but then there's another philosophy you need to understand, and that is the foundation to chemistry. So we are chemical beings, okay? I remember my father, he would go outside and change the pool or put, chlorine in the pool. And I would say, why are you doing that? He says, well, I have to have the chemistry right or else the pool's not swimmable. And our body is like that. We have to have the right chemistry or it's not functioning at its peak. So I write here, foundation chemistry. What are the things required there? Sleep, eating well, love, community, movement. These are all key. Supplementation, in my belief, these are all keys to ways for you to have that foundation. And when your chemistry is, did I say sleep? But sleep too. The foundation, once that foundation is there, you start to set yourself up for success. Because the next rung in the ladder or the pyramid here is love. Actually, more specifically, love of self. And it's amazing how much many of us struggle with self-love. It's what I've actually learned is it's not so much self-love, it's self-acceptance. Once we accept ourselves, then we love ourselves. Like everything you've been given is exactly given to you for a reason. And with the social media and everything, we compare ourselves to everybody else, and then we say we're not enough, and then it just, it spirals downwards. So it's really about understanding who you are. And at Shine, we educate on this. Our blog is amazing for this. We talk a lot about mental strength and resilience. So it's really about understanding yourself, accepting it, and then as a result, loving yourself. And when you love yourself, you are more confident. My writing, but here it is, the writing, confident. When you're more confident, you're in a position to articulate who you really are. And that's one of the reasons why we're called Shine is Shine. By the way, I got this from Canva. I use Canva in my design. So if you use Canva, I did a logo design. It said, do you want to print on a t-shirt? I said, sure, and press print. It was $15. So anyway, give it a try if you're building your own brand. Once you're confident, you're ready to help others, right? Because before that, you're sick, right? And you're just trying to take care of yourself. But once you start to build that confidence, you're serving others. And service of others is powerful. It's about helping others get everything they want, right? The more they get what they want, the more you get what you want. Whether it's at work, volunteer, running a business, building a family, whatever it is, you serve others with your gifts, with your strength, with your confidence. And what we've learned and what I've learned in that process is that leads to two of the highest levels of purpose in life. You look at the Maslow's hierarchy of need, which is meaning and purpose. So you have this sense of making a difference in other people's lives, and therefore you have meaning and you have purpose. Does that make sense? So you've got this cycle, this foundation of chemistry that you're really working on. You then are learning to identify who you are, what are your core values, what matters to you, comparing yourselves less to others, loving yourself, accepting yourself. And that brings a degree of confidence as you practice it. And that leads to service and helps others. And finally, meaning and purpose. It's a beautiful pyramid. All right, now I want to give you a tool to help you achieve what you're looking for. So you might be interested to know a few things. Well, here, first thing is, I don't know if you can see this, I'll grab it. So this was the original Shine brand. We've been around for 5 years. So Shine, be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. So Jennifer Lee is somebody I respect a lot. She's an artist. She creates the Disney shows Frozen. So she's, among other things, she's the kind of the creative genius behind that. And so you know, if Shine was about anything, it was about helping you set your soul on fire by addressing that chemistry naturally, right? So a lot of you may not know this, that we then had packaging. It was actually compostable packaging. It was amazing. Unfortunately, the supply chain just was destroyed with COVID and it was no longer there. So we had to go to a smaller version of packaging. These have less plastic than the plastic. So these were the next version of our brand. We had an Unstress, a Focus, a Brain, and also an Energy, which we had sold out of. So I'm giving you a bit of history of the brand and I'm getting to the tool to help you. And so the problem with these is that people would say, well, I can't afford them all. I want them all. Okay. The other thing was, I don't know which to choose, because when we're struggling, we don't know what to choose. And so we were getting this feedback. Well, how can we bring it all in together? And we said, well, we work with our formulator, our manufacturer. By the way, they're FDA certified, Health Canada approved. So just the whole thing. They're amazing. And the ingredients are sourced globally around the world. Anyway. So then we said to ourselves, well, how can we put it into one formula? And we started to look at formulas and this and that. We said, well, so we went back to the pyramid that I shared with you earlier. So we said, well, we had to have vitamins in it. We had to make sure that we had healthy fats, but I didn't want fat from fish. Again, fish isn't always sustainable. What we decided to do was said, well, let's go to the source. And a lot of individuals don't know, if you don't know this, fish don't have omega-3 in their skin, in their flesh. They eat algae, which has omega-3. So the source of omega-3 is the algae. So why not pull it from the source? The reason a lot of people don't know about it is because it's more expensive. But we said, whatever we do, and we're going to put this into one formula, it will have to be the algae version, which is the fat, that healthy fat. So vitamins have to be there, the D's and the B's in particular. Folic acid, very important for development of brain. We know for kids, but also adults. And then we moved into the healthy fats, which is this algae, a beautiful a plant that's grown under the ocean floor. And then we also knew that we wanted to add these adaptogens that help you deal with stress. These are plants known around the world. So there's this plant that I absolutely adore. It's grown in Africa. It's called Graphonia seed. It literally is a genius ingredient that helps with serotonin. And I thought, well, no matter what, we had to have this in here. And then lastly, as we look at our pyramid here, I'm looking over our nootropics, is that brain boosting nootropic, which I said to myself, it's got to be there, right? And so there is saffron is it's actually one of the most expensive herbs in the world. It has amazing research for mental health, and it's also starting to show an ability to adapt to stress and also boost our brain nootropics, our brain's ability to be at its very best. So we said we had to have saffron in there as well. I also know I learned about a secret version of saffron, which was patented out of Spain. I said, well, if we're going to do this, we're going to make it all happen. Okay. So then what did we do? What do I put here? Okay. So we said, first, we want glass. So glass is far more environmentally friendly than plastic. I just want you to know that. So this is our first prototype. It was a bit of a green shine. And then the formula in the back. And this was the old formula, but you can get a sense. We had it printed here. I kind of like that. That's one of our designs. So we like that. Then we said, no, let's try something else. So then we had something like this. Again, I'm having a bit of fun with you. I'm showing you a bit of behind the scenes of Shine and what we were about. So we said, let's go like this. Well, look more, I don't know. It didn't have enough palette here to, by the way, these are called vessels. We have a head of global branding on our team. Is quite talented, and he said, you know, I don't know if we're gonna have enough space on this vessel, which we call, to put the information. But I thought it was pretty cool. So then what do we do? Well, there's this milk white trend that's happening, and we wanted to bring an element of beauty into the brand because we know that beauty makes life more interesting. And there's also simplicity. Life is busy. We really like this, but it was busy. So we thought, well, let's simplify. So we said, why don't we go with a nice milk white glass and a cover to match? And so what did we do? So our manufacturer, by the way, does this all for us, but I'm going to do it in front of you because I love this stuff. And if you do, and if you don't want to know this stuff, just skip to the end. So this was the raw ingredients that are sent to me by my manufacturer because I wanted to get a few samples. I had also tried them before going live here, and yeah, I got pretty excited about the formula. Okay, so let's do this here. So what I do is I've got this, by the way, at our manufacturing, it's all done and sealed and done by professionals. This is just a local. We're not selling this one, but I just want to show you how it's done. Okay. So first thing is we have our raw ingredients, and there is a desiccant in there. For those who are curious, the desiccant absorbs humidity. It's mandatory to put that in there. And also, I'm looking here for my sealant. Oh, here it is. Sorry. This is our protective sealant. And so we put that over like that. And then, so this is exactly what we ship. Okay. Now, so here's the product in here with the it's sealed again at our facility, manufacturing facility. It's all done for us. Now we're manufacturing, we serve globally. Our number one market is the United States. We serve globally. We also knew that one of the best manufacturers in the world is actually out of Nova Scotia in Canada. So we decided to go with them. Okay. We had our printers. You're getting to see how it's all done. So this is the label. So we had our printers print out the label, and we have our color code. For those of you who know branding, we had our color code. We gave it to the printer, and we said, you know, please this out. So I'm going to peel it off here. Again, this is all done by machines at our facilities. Why not have some fun here? Here's our glass. I'm going to stick this guy on here. Okay, and seal it around, make sure there's no bubbles. Again, this is just a prototype to show you. And there it is. So this is the end product, my dear friends. So our little tagline there, we look for the best mental wellness supplement on the market. Since it wasn't there, we created it. You know, I've been sharing with you a lot. I've shared with you the years and money I spent, the testing I've done, and I encourage you to do it all if you have the time and the money. And if you don't, that's where we come in. We want to help you fast track your path to mental health, mental strength. You'll see on our website, we talk about resilience. Our blogs are a lot about mental strength. And one of the reasons we talk about that is because I find mental health is it's very past looking. I've got this, it's diagnostic. I've got this problem, which is good, but we also have to look at the future. Where are we going? Well, we want to build mental strength, right? Resilience, confidence, self-esteem, all the good stuff that we talked about in the pyramid as well. So let me share a bit about our ingredients, and I absolutely love them. I couldn't be happier. There's 8 of them. So before we had 4 products, 2 ingredients per product now, and so that's the 8, but far more expensive before, because now we can all put it into one capsule at a nice size too. So they're capsules. You swallow them. So I'm going to put up this again. So here's a little guy. Well, here you can see inside that. That's the desiccant. You see that little beautiful, there's a beautiful beige here. Here's the capsule. Actually, why not open it up in front of you? I actually open them up sometimes, put them in my smoothie. I don't know. I'm a nerd for this stuff. So if you're a bit of a nerd. So here, as I'm opening it up, is it's a beautiful a bit pinky. That's from the Afron from Spain. So we did end up going with the Afron or the saffron. And yeah, it's beautiful stuff. Where do I put this? Let me put it over here. Okay. So let me put this back on. So let me talk to you a bit about the ingredients. So again, you do your own research, make your own choices. You know, if you want a high dose fish oil, go for it. And so the first thing in here is the vitamin D3. Again, our D3 is from a plant. I don't know if you've ever gone and seen a rock and it's kind of got mossy stuff growing on it, but it's harder than moss. Well, that's lichen. And our vitamin D3 is from lichen. So it is not animal based. Again, we just have a value at Shine. So the formula is vegan, vegetarian, no dairy, no animal products. Okay. The next we have is a B6, which is, so all vitamins come in different forms of quality and are absorbable or not in your body. And this format is very absorbable. I won't read it. It's complicated. But we have 10 milligrams of that. The D3, we have 1,000 IU. I mean, you can go up to 4,000, 5,000, according to Mark Hyman. And then we have folic acid, which really helps, again, with mental health as well. It's 400 micrograms. So what that means is these are, again, the vitamins that I talked to you about earlier, the vitamins, and then the vitamin B12, which is a powerful vitamin for mental health. So 4 vitamins in there, which I couldn't be more excited. Now let's move into herbal. So we got the saffron extract, and it's 28 milligrams, which is shown in 8 different human studies to be effective on mental health. It's amazing. By the way, there's sub benefits too. You know, PMS it can help with. It can help with the sleep. There's a lot of benefits you can see on our website. But saffron is amazing, showing impact. And it's probably one of the ingredients I'm most proud of in here because it's new and it's exciting. Griffonia seed, remember I told you from Africa, this is an amazing adaptogen. We've got our nootropics in here. Our healthy fat is a DHA, which there's 2 types of omega-3s, DHA and EPA, and DHA is from algae. It's a good one, 150 milligrams. Again, it's taken from that algae that's grown under the ocean. And we have an ingredient called SAMe, which is so powerful, and it's considered bioidentical to what's in the body. And the body, it's kind of like this boost you need to build up your serotonin. So this product can really help with that serotonin. And what we've learned today is that we're so what's the word? We're so addicted to this dopamine hits of things that are coming fast. Well, when your dopamine goes up, your serotonin goes down. And one of the reasons why we have less joy in our lives. And so this product is really designed to help really balance that, right? So if you're struggling with anxiety, you're struggling with depression, and you have any questions about this, you can ask us. Of course, if you have any questions, we always say, bring this to your doctor. You can show it to them. If you're on any type of medication, antidepressant, anti-anxiety, before taking it, go see your doctor. This has been designed to help you. And it's also the individuals who's dealing with stress. So you're just stressed at work. You're fine. You have a very thin line of patience. Your anger is going up. Great product for you. So really that ability to handle that stress, sharpen that mind. And there's also a lot of side benefits too. Helps with the joints. It helps lower inflammation in the brain and the body. So anyway, it's an overall a beautiful product. And yeah, so check out online. If you have any questions, check out our blog, check out our website. I'm Philip DeRoche, co-founder. I couldn't be more excited to be here with you. That's everything. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.